जय श्री राम। राधे श्याम। How many you know your Gotra? Everyone? Oh, great. And how many you understand the Hindi? Almost everyone. So we can use English. I don't have the words to express my feeling after meeting you, after watching you, and in fact, I have given an opportunity to place my paper here, though it's I have a little time, but I would like to do my best in next 10 minutes. Dear friends, we are Hindus, and we are Hindus because we believe in social economic justice for all, not only for Hindus. Please say loudly, not only for Hindus. We believe liberty of thoughts, faith and worship for all, not only for. We believe equality of status and equal opportunity for all, not only for. We believe universal brotherhood and gender equality. We believe in fraternity, unity and national integration. We believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We believe in Janni Janma Bhumischa Swargadat Garyashi. And we believe in Yatra Narasti Pujyate Ramante Tatra Devata. There are 1100 religions. There are 6600 languages. You don't find the word equal, same meaning like Janni Janma Bhumischa Swargadat Garyashi. You cannot find the word equal to Grihini. Grihini means, Grih means घर, ऋणी means ऋणी. जिसका पूरा घर ऋणी हो उसको क्या कहते हैं? आपको 6500 भाषाओं में ऐसा शब्द नहीं मिलेगा. यत्र नारंती पूज्यते रमन्ते तत्र देवता. 1100 रिलीजन में आपको ऐसा वाक्य नहीं मिलेगा जहां नारी की पूजा होती है वहां देवता निवास करते हैं. एंड वी वर्शिप फीमेल गॉडेस. 1100 रिलीजन में और कहीं फीमेल गॉडेस की पूजा नहीं होती है, केवल हम करते हैं. हम साल में 2 बार नवरात्रा करते हैं, 2 बार कन्या पूजन करते हैं और किसी रिलीजन में नहीं होता. सो वी प्राउड टू बी हिंदूज. वी आर प्राउड दैट वी आर हिंदूज. Now the question is, this constitution says we are a sovereign country. In 1947 we got independence, and in 1950 we declared through this constitution that we are a sovereign country. There is a difference between independence and sovereignty. You may Google it later. There is a complete difference. Sovereignty means samprabhuta. Independence means swatantrata. There is a huge difference. Now the issue is, are we really a sovereign country? Definitely we are independent country. Now British is not, we are ruled by ourselves. But the issue is, are we really a sovereign country? Pandavas with blessings of Lord Krishna emulated Khandav Prastha and transfigured it into a highly developed city in the Prastha. But Delhi has no roads named after Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, Sahadev, Draupadi, Kunti, Madri, Abhimanyu, Krishna, Balram. But Delhi has roads, streets, areas named after brutal barbaric invaders like Babur, Humayun, Tughlaq, Sher Shah, Lodhi, Akbar, Shahjahan, Aurangzeb, who looted our country, who butchered our ancestors, who raped our mothers, and who converted our forefathers. Now you tell me, are we really a sovereign country? Please say loudly, are we really sovereign country? We are independent, but we are not a sovereign country. The places mentioned in the Quran exist today with the same name. The places mentioned in the Bible exist today in the same name. But the places mentioned in Mahabharata, Valmiki Ramayana, Ramcharitmanas, our Vedas, we don't find with the sameness. I have given some example. Like we have 51 Shaktipeeth. The first Shaktipeeth is the Kirteshwari. Murshid Khan renamed Kirteshwari to Murshidabad, that exists today. Mirza renamed our Vindhyachal to Mirzapur. Zauna Khan renamed Jamdagnipuram to Jaunpur. You know who was the Maharshi Jamdagni? He was the father of Lord Parashuram. But we consider it like a Jaunpur. Muzaffar Khan renamed Videh to Muzaffarpur. Videh is mentioned in the Ramayana. Videh means birthplace of Mata Sita. That is the Muzaffarpur. Hosiyar Khan renamed Virat to Hosiyarpur. Virat is mentioned in Mahabharata. Ghazi Khan renamed Gajpras to Ghaziabad. Gajpras is mentioned in Mahabharata. Farid Khan renamed Tilprastha to Faridabad. There were 5 villages. Lord Krishna says, you give me 5 villages to avoid the war. The 5 villages was Indraprasth, Tilprasth, Panprasth, Sonprasth, Vyagyaprasth. Indraprasth is Delhi, Tilprasth is Faridabad, Sonprasth is Sonipat, Panprasth is Panipat, Vyagyaprasth is Bagpat. So places mentioned in our Mahabharata, but present not. So this is the problem. Farooq Khan renamed Panchal to Farukhabad. This Panchal is the birthplace of Panchali, Draupadi. Now Murad Khan renamed Ram Ganganagar to Muradabad. Usman Ali renamed Dharasiv to Usmanabad. Similarly, Begu Khan renamed Ajasatru Nagar to Begusarai. Haji Samsuddin renamed Haripur to Hazipur. Ahmad Shah renamed Karnawati to Ahmedabad. Tughlaq renamed Devgiri to Tughalkabad. Shahjahan renamed Gomti Nagar to Shahjahanpur. Bakhtiyar Khilji renamed Nalanda to Bakhtiyarpur. Farid Khan renamed Mogalha to Faridkot. Jamal Khan renamed Singh Zani to Zamalpur. Hosang Shah renamed Narmadapuram to Hosangabad. Darbhang Khan renamed Dwarbhang to Darbhanga. Like there are more than 800 districts, towns, etc. who are named after brutal, barbaric invaders who butchered our ancestors, who raped our mothers, who converted our forefathers. Is Bharat a sovereign country? We don't teach our great renowned kings. Our children are taught about Babar, Humayun, Tughlaq, Sher Shah, Lodi, Akbar, Shahjahan, Aurangzeb, who looted us, butchered us, ancestors, raped our mothers, converted our forefathers. But our children are even cognizant about the ancestors of Lord Ram. I am not taking about others. I am talking about only the ancestors of Lord Ram. Our children don't know much about King Dasarath, King Amrish, King Agnivarn, King Sudarshan, King Raghu. About Raghu we know only Raghukul Reet Sada Chali Ai, Praan Jai Par Bachan. But we don't know much about King Raghu. Similarly, King Bhagirath, King Dilip, King Ansuman, King Sagar, King Bharat, King Dhrushandi, King Mandhata, King Trisanku, King Ikshaku, King Vivaswan, King Manu. We glorify Akbar as a great king in our history books, but we don't even shed light on the great King Manu who introduced the first codified law of this earth. He was the first king who introduced codified law, codified family law, codified administrative law, codified judicial law. He was the first king. We teach about Newton, but don't teach about Maharshi Kanad, who was the pioneer of the gravitational theory a millennium ago. We teach about Einstein, but not Vedas, which clearly elucidate upon the theory of time dilation. Similarly, the multiverse theory is clearly enunciated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Our children are oblivious to the greatest of scientists and researchers like Maharshi Charak, Maharshi Susut, Maharshi Patanjali, Maharshi Vagbhat, Maharshi Sharangdhar, Maharshi Madhavkar, Maharshi Kanad, Maharshi Kardam, Maharshi Bhaskaracharya, Maharshi Bodhayan, Maharshi Agnira, Maharshi Agast, Maharshi Agnivesh, Maharshi Ajasatru, Maharshi Atri, Maharshi Atreya, Maharshi Kanva, Maharshi Kapil, Maharshi Kashyap, Maharshi Katyayan, Maharshi Kripacharya, Maharshi Garg, Maharshi Chavan, Maharshi Jamdagni, Maharshi Jamini, Maharshi Dattatreya, Dadich, Deval, Parasar, Pulast, Bharadwaj, Bhrigu, Gautam, Yagyavalk, Lomas, Vasisht, Vasayan, Vamdev, Valmiki, विश्वामित्र, व्यास, सारंगदेव, सुखदेव, सत्यकाम, जाबाल, सुमंत, मरीच, अग्निवर्ष, पुलह, क्रतु. These are our great scientists. These are our great saints. Bharat is a sovereign country, but Hindus have still not been able to restore their temple. In 1892, Qutbuddin Aibak discarded 27 temples, that is the Qutub Minar. In 1305, Alauddin Khilji discarded Saraswati temple. 1373, Sikandar Shah discarded Shiv Mandir. 1377, Tughlaq discarded Atala Devi Mandir, that is Atala Masjid in Jaunpur. 1410, Alauddin Khilji discarded Rudra Mahalay, Jami Masjid in Gujarat. 1522, Babur discarded birthplace of Lord Ram. We have reclaimed it. 1552, Ahmad Shah discarded Bhadrakali Mandir, Jama Masjid, that is Gujarat. 1669, Aurangzeb discarded Kashi Vishwanath. We are fighting for that. 1670, Aurangzeb discarded birthplace of Lord Krishna. We are fighting for that. We are still governed by the oppressive system, missionary madrasa education system, colonial ineffective healthcare system, outdated tax system, outdated administrative system, outdated police system, and most ineffective, outdated, corrupt judicial system. We are still using Indian Penal Code 1860. It was made by the Macaulay, Police Act 1861, Religious Endowments 1863. The first law to control our temples was this 1863 Religious Endowment Act. Christian Marriage Act 1872, Qazi Act 1880, Transfer Property Act 1882, Land Acquisition, so and so. Not only, please wait, please. Even after the independence, our government made around 50 anti-Hindu laws. I am giving only some. The first Waqf Act was created by Pandit Nehru in 1954. Then Drug Act 54 to destroy our Indian healthcare system. Then Citizenship Act 1955. Then National Honor Act 71. Then Rajiv Gandhi amended 1884 Waqf Act. Then Place of Worship Act 1991, Minority Commission Act 1992, similarly Waqf Act, Minority Education Act, so and so. The three main issues which I would like to cover it. The Place of Worship Act 1991, this is the retaliation against Ayodhya movement. Why I am saying? Ayodhya movement was peak in 1990. Congress enacted 3 laws to suppress this movement. The first was 1991. This law legalizes the illegal acts of barbaric invaders, takes away right to justice and right to judicial remedy, takes away right to pray, practice, propagate religion, takes away right to manage, maintain religious places, takes away right to Hindu, Jain, Buddhist and restore temples, takes away right to preserve religious and cultural heritage. It was enacted under the garb of public order, which is a state subject. Pilgrimage within India is a state subject. The center cannot enact this law. It is against the Hindu doctrine, once a temple, always a temple, and it is against equality, justice, fraternity, unity, and national integration. Next year, Congress enacted another law to divide Hindus among, because as per law, Hindu, Jain, Baudh, Sikh all are Hindu, but the first time Congress enacted a law and declared Hindus as a majority, Jain, Baudh, and Sikh as a minority. So divided Hindu. This minority is not defined in constitution or law. 1992 Act was enacted for Muslim appeasement and divide Hindus. 2002 Supreme Court directed to identify minority at the state level. 2004 Congress enacted the Minority Education Institution Act immediately after the Supreme Court judgment. In 2005 Supreme Court says minority majority system should be stopped. In 2006 the Congress government enacted the first Minority Affair Ministry. Earlier there was only Social Justice Ministry. In 2007, Allahabad High Court withdrew minority status for Muslims in UP. That judgment has not been implemented till date. 2011, as per census, Hindus have become minority in 9 states. Demography of 200 districts and 300 tahsil have been changed. Minority has not been yet defined, but states are lavishing billions of our tax money. Right, I'm concluding it. Then Waqf Act 1995. In 1894, British enacted a Land Act for benefit of church and missionaries. All the civil lines throughout the country were established and most of the land was given to churches by this 1894 Act. In 1954, the Congress enacted Waqf Act. The first Waqf Act was enacted by Pandit Nehru in 1954. In 1984, Rajiv Gandhi strengthened this act. In 1995, Narasimha Rao repealed earlier act and enacted a new Waqf Act which gives more power to the Waqf Board. In 2013, Congress amended this act to give the unbridled power to the Waqf Act. There is no similar law for Hindu, Jain, Buddha, Sikhs and Parsis. The act is being used for money extortion and religious conversion. Waqf Board boasts third largest land bank after railway and defense. Waqf Board issued notice to vacate 15-year-old temple. Matter is pending in Supreme Court. I have challenged these all the three laws. Now I am concluding it. What is the effect of colonial law? The effect of colonial law: child marriage, night marriage is going on. Polygamy, nikah halala, nikah muta, nikah misyar is going on. Talake Hasan, Talake Ahsan, Talake Bain, Talake Kinaya is rampant. Taharrus, which is a gang rape of non-believers, is increasing. Love jihad, land jihad and other type of jihad are unfettered. Darul Qaza, Sharia court have been installed in every district. Stone pelting during the Hindu festival is going on. Rohingya Bangladeshi infiltration is unconstrained. Population explosion is going on. Deceitful religious conversion is going on. Foreign funding to anti-nationals is going on. What is the effect of anti-Hindus law? Hindus have become minority in 9 states. 5 crore illegal infiltrators are residing in India. Demography of 200 districts have been completely unpended. Demography of 300 tahsils no longer pertains to our culture. Deceitful conversion is rampant. Population explosion: 86,000 children are being born every day. Missionary school have become the center of brainwashing and conversion. Madrasa have become the center for radicalization, infiltration and conversion. Now, why I asked your Gotra? Our place of birth may be different, but our Gotras are common. Gotras of Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Dalits are common. Gotra of Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi and Tamilians are common. Gotras of Kashmiris, Keralite, Punjabis and Kannars are common. Our religion, race, caste may be different, but our Gotras are common. Therefore, let's start using our Gotras after our name instead of using our caste. We cannot have fraternity by having madrasas and missionary schools. So what is the way? What we have is the RT, right to education. Please go to next temple. Right to education. Fraternity is impossible without uniform education system. What we have is the RT, right to education. What we need is the RT, right to equal education. One nation, one syllabus like Kendriya Vidyalayas. One nation, one education board like Railway Board. One nation, one education council like GST Council. And we should go with our Gurukul Vedic education system. This is the only way to promote fraternity, unity and national integration. Unity is impossible without uniform civil code. Matter is pending. I have filed a PIL on this issue. Uniform minimum age of marriage, polygamy should be abolished. Uniform procedure of marriage, uniform grounds of divorce, uniform procedure of alimony, adoption, succession, inheritance, guardianship, and what else I am requesting you? We can establish Ram Rajya by changing our laws. 80% problems can be controlled by changing law. If something is happening in India, but that is not happening in Singapore, that is not happening in China, it means our laws are not good. Please remember, rulers are not important, rules are important, laws are important. Ineffective. We are governed by the rule of law. हम कहते हैं देश में कानून का राज है और कानून ही घटिया है, इसलिए राज घटिया चल रहा है, इसलिए घुसपैठ खत्म नहीं हो रही है, इसलिए धर्मांतरण खत्म नहीं हो रहा है, इसलिए जनसंख्या विस्फोट खत्म नहीं हो रहा है. चाइना में, सिंगापुर में, बाकी देशों में बहुत सारे संगठन नहीं है, वहाँ केवल और केवल है कानून, इसीलिए वहाँ अराजकता नहीं है, पत्थरबाजी नहीं है, मजहबी उन्माद नहीं है, कट्टरपंथ नहीं है, जिहाद नहीं है. ये घुसपैठिए जो भारत आते हैं, ये बगल में भूटान नहीं जाते लेकिन भारत आ जाते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि हमारा कानून घटिया है. कानून बदलने की कोई लागत नहीं होती है। मैं आप सबसे रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं, महीने में एक बार अपने अपने सांसद से मिलके कानून बदलने की मांग करिए। कानून ही अस्थायी समाधान है, बाकी कोई अस्थायी समाधान नहीं है। आप लोगों ने हमें सुना, इसके लिए मैं आप लोगों को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं, आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। चेयरमैन साहब को धन्यवाद देता हूं कि आपने मुझे 5 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा दिया। आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।